This week's top stories, guys. North Korea leader orders nuclear warhead test. We also have a senior GOP official. We choose the nominee, not the voters. We also have black students at Harvard advocating white genocide. LA boasting their cloud seeding to boost the rain from El Nino. Extreme climate and weather-related events prior to the advent of the significant amounts of anthropomorphic CO2 in the global atmosphere. Great article by Sacred Geo International. We have the first test tube Meatball being revealed, and newly discovered bacteria that can eat through plastic bottles. We've got the latest Hendo hoverboard, actually hovers and looks like a hoverboard. And we're back to this again, but linked with Alzheimer's, burning more calories, linked with better gray matter in the brain, and reduced Alzheimer's risk. Let's check these out, guys.
Welcome to Drunken Yogi News. Shit to pay attention to.
Potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war. I'll be very blunt.
Okay, guys, we are back for another crazy week. We have the leader of North Korea ordering nuclear warhead tests and threatening multiple cities in our country for nuclear war, as well as Russia isn't too happy with this guy. So we are fighting wars in countries across the world that don't have any potential of striking us yet. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, has ordered an upcoming nuclear warhead test and multiple ballistic missile launches, escalating the face-off with international communities just days after being slapped with tough UN sanction. The order came after Kim monitored what was described as a successful simulation test of a warhead re-entry technology required for a long-range nuclear strike on U.S. mainland, the North's official agency said on Tuesday. These military tensions are going high, and for some reason, this guy gets to shoot his mouth off, aiming nukes at us. I don't like him. If we're at war with one country, I think we should be at war with them. If we're going to do the American, fuck yeah, let's kick North Korea back down to not being able to shoot nuclear warheads at us. Now, we're going to this CNBC article. We have the clip as well. And it is a gentleman that is a senior GOP official saying, "We choose the nominee, not the voters, you silly people." I find this weird coming out. We've got Newt Gingrich the other week saying that Trump isn't going to win because he's not an initiate of the secret society. We have the GOP saying, "The media has created the perception that the voters choose the nomination." That's the conflict here.
In that situation, what will you be considering? What types of rules will you be considering? Because right now the rules say that you have to win at least 8 states or 8 different districts in order to be considered. And the only person who's done that so far is Donald Trump.
Well, and that's a misunderstanding. That rule actually is different than that. That's a vote that needs to be taken at the convention of the delegates. The requirement is that the candidate must demonstrate the support of the majority of the delegates from 8 states that are permanently seated. So that vote can't even be taken until the convention. So obviously, no determination can be made until the convention.
So that vote that we thought, or that rule that we thought stood, is not a rule that actually stands?
No, it is a rule that stands, but the rule says specifically that it's a vote of the delegates at the convention to determine if there's a majority.
Voters.
Not a primary vote.
And I've even heard another guy on another show this week saying it even more satirically, laughing his entire way through it. So why is it now that the conspiracy theories of last election are now mainstream news and no one gives a fuck? That's what I want to know. There's no article here, but we are also looking at Harvard students advocate the white genocide at Harvard. So we're going to cut to this video, see it for yourself, but this person really seems to want the death of others just because of the color of their skin. I'm going to get my dictionary out later tonight, but I'm pretty sure that's the definition of racism. So let's check this out.
Why do white people have a right to affirm their life?
Because all lives have value.
Really? How so? Why does white life have value?
Well, I think my
For
life
who?
has value.
No, excuse me, for who? Our argument is that white life is wrong.
Why?
Our argument is that we should never affirm white life. That your argument of just affirming all life in general is not good, especially not good for black people when white life itself is based off of black
why shouldn't we affirm
civilization.
my life?
You're probably white.
I am white. Why shouldn't we affirm my life?
I don't understand why I have to care about your life anyways. There's no ethical reason as to why white people deserve to live. Affirming black life means that white death has to occur. That's why you should lose this debate and why your life ain't worth affirming.
Yeah, that's scary that these are people. These are the Harvard elite. These are the people that are going to be graduating and going on to positions of power, and they have views so messed up and anger driven as this gentleman does. Now I found this one to be quite revealing. We're going to the Daily Mail. Cloud seeding to boost rain from El Nino storms. Officials say silver iodide shot into the clouds brought 15% more relief to the drought-stricken area. In cloud seeding, silver iodide is shot into existing clouds to boost rainfall. This has been done since the 1950s. Yes, we used it in the Korean War to rain out the opponents. We've used this to steer tornadoes and hurricanes. This is a very old technique, but it also goes on to say that the microscopic particles of the silver iodide are shot into existing clouds using land-based generators or aircraft. So they are admitting that they shoot silver iodide out of aircrafts in the air. I'm pretty sure that's what we've been calling chemtrails. So what is it? Chemtrails do exist or they don't exist? According to this article from the Daily Mail, they are being used to help out our drought-stricken areas. And to piggyback on this article, we're going to a great article put together by Sacred Geo International. This is a great resource. People, I highly suggest going and checking out everything this man has on his website. He is a very intelligent scholar and deserves a lot more attention than he's getting. But we're going to go through a couple of these. So we have October 7th, 1737, a huge cyclone drives a 40-foot high storm wave across the densely populated land near the mouth of the Holy River, engulfing seaports, destroying 20,000 ships and drowning 300,000 people. So that was in 1737. Pretty sure the SUV wasn't invented yet. Let's go to another one down here. 1864, intense winds drive a 40-foot sea wave into a harbor, destroying more than 200 ships, submerging the city, and instantly drowning more than 50,000 inhabitants. Destruction of the water system brings on disease, which kills another 30,000 people in a few weeks. Another one, drought and massive famine in China from 1877 to 1878. Failure of the monsoons for 3 years straight triggered devastating famine in 4 provinces in northern China. Between 10 and 13 million people perish. Widespread cannibalism, suicide, mass death, with millions of rotting corpses. Nearby provinces experience crop-destroying floods. That sounds a lot like what's being pushed every single day on the news, to say that we need to stop driving cars and no air conditioning and no hot baths for old people. These events have been happening. It's just now that they play them up with the hype, we've got the inconvenient truth from Bear Gore or Al Gore or whatever you want to fucking call that asshole. But I'm not saying we don't need to reduce our pollution, but we need to look at this as intelligent people and understand that giving the billionaires tax credits is not going to be the solution for this, and definitely giving the UN more power is not going to be the solution. And this is definitely not going to be the solution. We've got the first test tube meatball revealed, and this is again coming from the Daily Mail. This meatball cost $18,000 to make a pound of this meat, compared to $4 in the U.S. grocery. The test tube meat is getting closer to leaving the lab and being served on our plates. Well, not my plates. Which grows meat from the nanimal cells, says it hopes to have an animal-free product on the market in 3 to 4 years, and it has unveiled the first lab-grown meatball to the public. It is one of the several firms developing test tube meats that could one day be cheaper and more environmental friendly, another eco fraud, to produce than traditional farming. And I would like to know their definition of traditional farming, because the farming that's been happening in the past couple decades in our country is not traditional farming. It is a abstraction of traditional farming. And they go on to say that cultured meat will completely replace the status quo, and raising animals to eat will just simply be unthinkable. Well, I'm on my cute little homestead here, and I can tell you one thing: I won't be switching over to this anytime soon. I like my hunted or friendly, good-lifed animals to have a good life and serve a purpose. And I think that's how it's been happening. And I think we should look into making everything as happy and healthy as possible so we can be what we eat. So, moving on. This is really crazy science. We've got newly discovered bacteria can eat plastic bottles. I remember as a child being told it would be thousands of years until bacteria can evolve to be able to eat plastic. But here we go. A team of scientists in Japan has found a species of bacteria that eat the type of plastic found in most disposable water bottles. The discovery, published Thursday in the Journal of Science, could lead to new methods managing more than 50 million tons of this particular plastic every year. The plastic found in water bottles is known as, I'm not going to try it, or PET, P-E-T. It is also found in polyester clothing, frozen dinner trays, and blister packaging. So they have this great new bacteria that can eat this stuff. It should be really good for recycling. What I'm worried about is this bacteria gets out, starts colonizing faster and faster and faster, and all of a sudden 3 years from now, we don't have a single ounce of PET plastic on the planet, and I think that might set us back a little bit. So definitely an interesting discovery, and it's going to be fun to see how this all plays out. And for some fun science, we've got the latest Hendo hoverboard coming from Popular Science. Will they tackle the Hyperloop next? This is a pretty bitchin' looking skateboard. I'd like to play with it, and it can actually move freely around, unlike the last one that came out that had to sit on a track. So it is not as slick as the Back to the Future props, nor is it as smooth as the hoverboard built by Lexus, but the Lexus hoverboard only had to travel on a specific route above a rail in a deceptively bulky built skateboard. Hendo's hoverboard also only works above a special surface, yet it's made to play freely in the arena rather than imitating the steady, narrow route of the other board. So the GIF is not loading. I will be cutting that in later. I really hope you guys enjoy it. It is a fantastic new little piece of technology that I really want to play with. So we're going to finish this up on a little bit of health news. Go back to gray matter, and this time it's linked in with Alzheimer's. Whether they jog, swim, garden, or dance, physical activity of older persons have large gray matter in their key brain areas responsible for memory and cognition. According to a new study, researchers at the University of Pittsburgh said the findings published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease show also people who had Alzheimer's disease or more mild cognitive impairment exercise less gray matter reduction over time if their exercise associated with calorie burning was high. A growing number of studies indicate that physical activity can help protect the brain from cognitive decline. So if you want to live long and if you want to live happy, burn calories, find something you love to do, get out there and do it. And that'll do it for this week's episode. Please share, subscribe, click on the ads. That's what I love the most. Hope you guys like the sound that's coming out of this new microphone, and we will see you next week.